Hi, this is Scott Jordan, and you are watching live here at Cellars of Sonoma in beautiful Railroad Square, Santa Rosa, California. No, you got. And welcome to TV Tuesday Live. This is the show where we taste wine, we talk about wine. Tonight I got Dave Batt in the house, and we are going to launch our 4 shades of cheese, gourmet grilled cheese and wine pairing.
Gourmet grilled cheese.
Gourmet. Well, yeah, I mean, anybody can do grilled cheese.
Yeah.
But we're talking gourmet.
Excellent.
The real deal. So we've got 4 wines. It'll be part of our new food and wine pairing that you can make an appointment to come down and do. It's $25 per person, and it includes tasting 4 wines with 4 different grilled cheese.
So you get a whole sandwich? Is that what you're doing?
Yeah,
here?
well, I mean, ultimately, if you put them all together,
Yeah.
they're
Okay. All
they're
right.
nice little bites, which we're going to see in a minute. Andrew's plating it up for us. We will have the Deering 2012 Grenache Blanc, and we've got that paired up with an imported French Brie grilled cheese and sliced sourdough.
Excellent.
And then we have a Bonneau wine 2013 Monterey Rosé, and that's paired up with a grilled cheddar and Monterey Jack. We call it the cheese roll on wheat. Very cool.
On wheat?
On wheat.
Okay.
And then Amorosa Bella 2010 Russian River Pinot Noir. We've got that. It's a Hawaiian. It's grilled cheese on sliced sourdough with pineapple and Canadian bacon.
So will we cue the Hawaiian music for that one, right?
Yeah, that comes with its own music,
Okay.
which is
Excellent.
pretty cool.
Excellent. Good.
And then the Super Sonoma 2010 Mayakama Mountain Cabernet Franc is grilled creamy American blue cheese on sliced sourdough. So tonight, for making the pairings, I have to admit I am not a big blue cheese guy. I mean, you got to almost strap me down and make me
Okay.
force me.
Got it.
But I may take a bite tonight just to be a team player. But
All right.
I'm probably
He says
not.
the same thing about White Zinfandel too. I don't know why.
Yeah. Yeah. Just hold me down.
Right.
So anyway, and then also when you come in to the tasting room, if you would like to have any of these as a full sandwich, you can now have that. And oh, look at that! Holy Toledo, man, Batman! Woo!
Nice.
Nice, nice. Okay, so are these in the right order? Is that what you? Yeah. So they go this way, right? They must. Oh wait, you got too many. It's only one.
Oh, there's 2 on that.
Yeah, go get another plate and we'll just move these over.
Here.
Yeah,
I didn't
Just
know
good
there
enough.
you know what I'm saying? It's just the one square. Come in, come in. We're tasting and having a food and wine pairing. You're all part of it. You can participate. It's on us tonight. Very fun. I know your timing is amazing. It's incredible. So yeah, so the 4 shades of cheese, that was very clever. Dave came up with that idea. And then also for those of you that are visiting wine country, next week is barrel tasting, if you can believe it. It is. It's next week. Yeah.
He's saying, "Oh no."
Oh
right
no.
now.
Oh no.
no.
Yeah. It's like, oh no, I'm going crazy.
I don't have to deal with it.
Yeah. Amen, brother. Because excellent, Andrew. Thank you very much. Yeah,
you,
that's
sir.
that's so.
All good.
Yeah, Kevin, if you get a shot, if you can do a shot of this plate,
He will in a second.
he will in a second.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that looks pretty cool,
Yeah.
right?
So,
That
so you
looks-
got 4 quarter sandwiches here.
Yeah.
So we're all set with one good meal.
Yeah, one good meal.
So what happens is perhaps somebody comes in and tries them all and decides, I like that pairing. Next time they come back, they know exactly what they're going to focus on. They get themselves a glass of that wine.
And they're rocking and rolling. Hey, Kevin, can you get a tight shot on that so they can see what that dish looks like? Yeah. So that's the new 4 shades of cheese pairing.
We were going to do
has that.
50, but
Yeah, 50 was going to
plates
take a
were
while.
too small.
Yeah, yeah. So let's start with the first wine. This is, I'm going to go this way with you. This is Grenache Blanc 2012. All Santa Barbara fruit from Deering Winery. And it's paired up, again, this is paired up with imported French Brie grilled cheese on sliced sourdough. So you take a little bite of the food, the first thing you do. It got next to the cheddar, it has a little cheddar to the side. That's extra. Whenever that happens, we have to
Just
charge
a
it.
bonus. That means you have to put a little bit of the other wine in there too.
Man, oh, Batman. Woo! Wow, that's good.
When I was growing up, that's what they called me, Batman.
Ooh, well, Batman, that works just dandy. This is a nice rounded wine, and the brie is rich, and it can handle that. That works really nice. Oh, that's yummy, man. Now, see, I didn't taste all those when we were testing them out. You guys, I did not. What I did was I made a sandwich earlier in the day, and I got full. Because this stuff will fill you up. That's a meal, man. I mean, you're like, whoa.
A meal.
Yeah.
So the toast really plays well with the Grenache Blanc as well. I think it lays right in there. You've got. I like this because grilled cheese feels like it's truly on a grill because I can actually see the grill lines on here.
Yeah. And I'll give you the secret. I have a giant George Foreman back there, and that's what we use. Good old George.
He's back there?
George is back there.
All right.
So anytime you come in, he'll give you an autograph and
think
cook
that's
for you.
perfect.
So that's part of the deal. That brie is really good, and I did not have that. I didn't.
Now, do we have to swirl these and all?
Yeah, we sure do. Wow. So again, you take a little bite of the food, and then nice. And they balance out so well. That's the real key to that, is the balancing. Ooh, I like that a lot.
Craig Yoder on Thursday, Falcon Christopher on Friday, and Craig Corona. Craig
Corona, man, on Saturday. Look out. Craig rocked out with Gary Violin. That was so cool. We'll talk about that in a minute. It was really cool. Those of you that have known us for a long time, I've showed you video clips of Gary Violin. Gary plays violin, and but it's electric.
Oh, it is?
Oh, yeah. Although last Saturday when he came in to play with Craig Corona, he actually brought his acoustic, but normally he brings in his electric, and it's just dynamic. It's just,
wow.
Oh, it's very cool.
Wow.
Okay, all right, so Deering Wine, 27 retail, $22.95 for Wine Club. You can't argue with that at all. That's a really pretty wine. I know you folks from the East Coast are getting slapped pretty good in the cold weather, but still, here's a perfect example. Make a grilled cheese sandwich, make it kind of fun.
Well, I come from the Midwest. In the wintertime, a grilled cheese would be perfect anyway. So make yourself your favorite grilled cheese. And
a gourmet grilled cheese.
Gourmet.
Yeah, why screw around? Just get it, bring it out of the gate.
So what's the difference between the everyday and the gourmet?
The cheap cheese.
Okay.
So we're going, we're upscaling here a bit.
So it's not Kraft American singles.
No.
Processed cheese.
No processed cheese. It's the real deal.
Nice.
And that Brie's top end, that's pretty.
And you can be creative with the bread too. I'm assuming you can.
Yeah,
find
you
all
can.
sorts of nuances in the bread.
You really can. When you're home, some of this stuff isn't practical in here, but if you like fresh sourdough, with a big thick crust on it, You can use that and cut that up. I mean, it's a lot of bread, but you know, you're at home, you can overdo it a little bit. Not a big deal. Yeah, that's really fun and works like a champ. All right. Next up is rosé, and I have to say, don't poo the rosés off, man. You're missing it. This is paired up with the cheese roll. It's sharp cheddar cheese, oh, that's not what that is. I put on there grilled cheddar and Monterey Jack. It actually isn't. It's
What cheese we have on here?
it's sharp cheddar. That's what it's supposed to be.
Oh, okay.
This one has the other. That's a mistake for our menu.
Did you cross off one? You still have one left
That's
over
right.
there?
Yeah, so it's a cheese roll. The way you're supposed to make this, it's supposed to be round, but with my George Foreman, it squeezes everything together. So at home, you could make them round, and then just turn them. And I'm only cooking them in butter. That's all you're doing is cooking in butter. But you know, we are trying to move this stuff quickly, but it looks a little weird, but it tastes good.
On to the rosé now?
It lays right in there, doesn't it?
Man, it landed right on the runway.
Thank you for the idea.
That was awesome. That was perfect on the money.
Absolutely.
So, you know, think about, you know, if you're having I sound like some kid who was like 12, like, you know.
Like, you know.
You know, if you're having.
He's cracking himself up now. You know, that grilled cheese goes right to his head. I tell you.
Wow, there must be some drug in there or something. Wow. So, grilled cheese can be a neat little appetizer to have, and it's easy to do. You can do it real quickly.
Sure.
And here's an example where it pairs up with a nice, you know, rosé, and you get to use rosé in the right scenario. And why not have it paired up? I'm loving it.
This works really, really well.
This is super clean and just nice and crisp. You can spice up this particular one. You could probably spice it up. I added a little oregano and parsley.
Oh, nice.
I was going to experiment, and I was thinking I was going to experiment with a little bit of honey over the top, kind of see where that goes. I don't know.
That probably would play real well here too.
Yeah? Okay.
So,
Wow.
so let's find out from those sitting at the bar over here. Let's find out from you folks.
So ladies, so how did that pair up? Was that okay?
So you're having the rosé with the second one now? Oh,
Well, make sure, yeah, you gotta try it with the food.
drink it all up.
It's a food pairing.
There you go. Thumbs up on the rosé.
That works, right?
I think that's a win.
Yeah.
Are all the cheeses local?
No, the brie is French, and the Monterey Jack is a local cheese, and then on the tasting note on that, I lied. Actually, it's not. It's all cheddar. There's no Monterey in that. But I forgot. I mean, come on, you know, it's just the way it is.
You know, that's cool because when you go into a kitchen, you should have a right to change the recipe anyway.
Yeah.
It's just the way it works.
And that's what I'm doing. I'm able to change that. Well, that rosé is rocking. Great value on rosé. $18 retail, $15.30 if you're a Cellar Club member. That's a great bottle of wine for you know, under $20.
And it has enough body to it that it really stands up like you know, like any other wine.
Well, couldn't you have gone a little spicier and it would have held up just fine, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And any the nuances, other ingredients you put on here, perfect. I think they go really well.
Like that a lot.
Yeah, nice.
Nice usage of that. So let me tell you a little bit about what happened on Saturday, and this is evidence right here.
Right.
You guys can't see this, but we had Greg Youter in, and he's a great musician. Plays 70s stuff, and he plays John Denver and Crosby, Stills and Nash, and does all those really cool songs. We have a musician that comes in from time to time. His name is Gary Violin. Now, not Gary the Violin, but Gary Violin. And I'll tell you
That's his last name.
what it means. Yeah, well, we thought that's what it was. So when he said he was going to come in, and I asked Craig, Craig said, great, I love playing with him. He's awesome. So he came in, and then a gal from the audience came over and started to sing, and apparently she got really close to this mic because it's got lipstick on it.
Yes, it does.
So she was eating that mic. It's
guess.
just, yeah, well, that, you know. But a funny story about Gary Violin. He first of all, his claim to fame is he was a violinist for Yanni.
Oh,
So that's pretty good. You know, you get to play with
can
Yanni.
name drop that one,
Yeah,
yeah,
you can name
definitely.
that. Yeah, that's a good one. And when we first found him, it was like 6 years ago, and John Peta was playing in the tasting room. And John took a break, and Gary walked over to him, and Gary said, and Gary's, you know, he's a hippie from way back, you know, but an amazing musician. He went over to John and he goes, John, dude, if I give you $10, can I play with you a couple songs? And John, you know how John is. He's like, well, of course you can play. Don't give me $10. You go ahead and play. Well, I filmed that. I have it in an iCarve of filming that. He ripped it up, man, with an electric fiddle and just rocked the house out. It was really crazy.
how long ago was that?
That was almost 6 years ago.
6 years ago.
Yeah, and I was filming that night just because I was filming like I do here, and it was crazy. It was freaking the audience everyone got silent. They were listening intently, and so we invited Gary to come back a couple weeks later. And outside I used to have a chalkboard out there, and it would say, what's going on tonight? You know, tonight we have John Peta. So I put on the chalkboard, I put featuring tonight, John Peta and Gary the Violin, right? So I put that on the sign, and Gary comes in, and he pulls me aside, and he goes, hey man, like, you know, I don't mean to tell you how to run your business, but I get top billing. It was awesome. It was awesome. And he goes, and it's just Gary Violin. Now, if he was just a freaky dude that just was kind of quirky and couldn't play that beautiful instrument, it'd be over quick. But you know what? Love him, love him, love him, because he was the real deal.
Brad wants to know, he wants to try to recreate this at home, and the cheddar cheese, does it have to be from region, or can it just be any form of cheddar?
Okay, great question. The cheese roll is probably the easiest thing to do of everything that we did tonight. Very simple. Here's all you gotta do, Brad. Get some nice wheat bread. I bought some bigger wheat bread today, and I think that's gonna work better. Get some nicer wheat bread, and what you do is just cut the crust off, and then all you buy are slices of sharp cheddar.
Okay.
And you lay it over the top, and first what you do after you cut the crust off, you roll that so you
okay.
flatten out the bread.
I wonder how it got around. Okay.
Yeah, you flatten it out. And then you just lay that piece of cheese over that, and you roll it, and you turn on a pan with butter, and you lay it down, the seam down first, so it sears the seam closed. Seam down, and then turn it over once. Once it's melted, good to go, man. You're on your way. Simple, absolutely simple.
So it's not so much the region, but it's a sharp cheddar versus a mild cheddar?
Yeah, the sharp gives it a little more flavor. Now all of these, what I've done is I did it for the first time on this one.
Uh-huh.
One side of the bread I put on butter and then oregano and parsley.
Okay.
And then what I did was I flipped it over and put the cheese down and then rolled that. And so the parts that are touching the pan have butter on them.
Right.
Along with the butter you put in the pan, and it has the oregano, so it has a little bit of flavor. And that works out. That works out pretty well. I like it better that way.
Uh-huh.
This is the first time we did it this way. I like it better. It
I
has a
think
little more-
last time we came out with that rolled look, but
Yeah, so now we use a George Foreman, so it gets squished a little bit, so they're kind of flat, but they're supposed to be round, and that's how you do it. But easy peasy, and that's a great. You know what this is great for? For a neat little appetizer. So if you've got 6 or 8 slices of bread, man, you can make 20 of these suckers because you're going to cut them right in half. They're nice bites, and they work perfectly well.
that sounds great.
Yeah. So 2 thumbs up. We like that one.
Good question though.
Oh, great question. So next is Pinot Noir. This particular dish is my favorite because I like Canadian bacon and pineapple. So I am well okay with that. 2010 Russian River Pinot Noir. It's paired up with our Hawaiian grilled cheese, and what this is got the cheddar Monterey Jack cheese in it. It also has some chunks of pineapple,
Okay.
and then it has some Canadian bacon.
All right.
And then you're just, what you're doing is you're buttering one side of the bread, okay?
Uh-huh.
And then you're gonna put down the oregano and the parsley, and then you're just gonna flip it over, and then you put your cheese down. So the way I layered it was, I put a big chunk of cheese
Butter
down.
side down.
Yeah, butter side down, yep.
Then the,
So you put the cheese on there, and then you put the pineapple and spread it all out. Get the the chunky pineapple, not the it's like shredded kind of,
Right,
you know what I
right.
mean?
Was it-
They have a name for it. I don't know what. It's in a can. I mean, if you want fresh pineapple, you can do that too and cut it up, but that's kind of messy. But and then you put 2 pieces of the Canadian bacon,
Uh-huh.
and then more cheese on top. So this sucker started out like that tall. It
so
did.
you got 2 slices of cheese here.
Well, yeah, I got bacon, not slices, but it's shredded.
Shredded. Okay.
Yeah, so 2 big mounds of cheese, and yeah, look at that bad boy. I mean, that's dangerous is what that is. So let me take a bite. Nice, with that Pinot, right on the money. Love that. That one's a meal. I'm just telling you, there's a lot going on. That's just beautiful.
That works really well. This particular Pinot, I think, is right in the wheelhouse. It matches up well. It's not a big over-the-top Pinot. It's one of those that has that kind of elegance of it's that softer music kind of thing going on.
Yeah.
And it just plays it really well into that. And with the pineapple there, just to bring it back forward,
Right.
on the sandwich side.
That's really simple. And so when you guys come into the tasting room, you can order this as a sandwich. And then you can buy a glass of wine that'll pair right up with it, right on the money. I mean, that's as cool as you're gonna get. I mean, that's cool stuff.
And for those of you who have some of the other wines that are in the room here, there are other pairings. This just happens to be the pairing that we landed on.
Yeah, we
right
looked
now.
at the T.R. Elliott, for example. The Questy worked very well
Very
with
well.
that. I think any of the James Pinot would be an easy match for that. I think, yeah, the main thing is to be very, creative with, your food choices, and it doesn't have to be the same thing. Grilled cheese is kind of a fun deal, and everybody digs, grilled cheese.
And you can make it whatever way you want ultimately.
Yeah.
And then some of the fun is to figure out which wines pair with that.
And yeah, the other thing you can do too, you can make these in advance, and if you have a chafing dish, you can just load them in the chafing dish, and it'll keep them nice and warm. As long as they stay warm, they'll be nice and they'll be good for a long time. So if you have, you have a bunch of people over, you can just keep pulling out of that to put out on a tray, and then yeah, you got it. It's rocking. Grilled cheese, man. Gourmet grilled cheese. God, I love it. All right, so don't forget now, next weekend, barrel tasting. We're gonna have a 30-gallon barrel right here, Super Sonoma. It's gonna be his Cabernet Sauvignon. It's gonna be his 2013. So it's not released yet, but you're gonna get a good idea how well that puppy is going.
When will he release that, do you think?
He won't release that for another year and a half, probably.
So that's a real preview.
Super, yeah.
You get a chance to compare that with the current release.
Yeah, we've got the current releases here, and we'll certainly have those available. We're going to have some nice wine specials, some super deals that the wineries put together for us.
Nice.
It's a 3-day event for the first weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You can get your tickets online. If you do them, boy, your cutoffs pretty soon. They go from $40 to $60. So it would be think of it this way. You're going to be able to go to 140 wineries. You buy your glass and a wristband and you're rocking. I mean, that's crazy. 3 days for $40. That's the deal of the century.
So do the tickets sell out on this, or do they just keep them coming?
No, they have a saturation point where it's almost too much.
Okay.
There'll probably be 10,000 people or so. It's a big number. It's a huge, huge, huge number, and then it repeats itself the following weekend.
Oh, okay.
And then if that's not enough, now you're really bored, you got one more weekend of the same thing, and then after that, the third week, you've got Sonoma Valley.
Just down the road.
Yeah, they do there. That's Kenwood and that area. They all go together, and that's their barrel tasting weekend.
Nice.
A little higher ticket price, but it's like it's relevant. It's okay. Yeah, not this weekend. The first week in March, and the second week in March, and then the third week is Sonoma Valley, and then the first or second week of April is Passport at Dry Creek Valley. So lots of what? Is it the end of April? Oh, okay. All right, end of April. But come for the whole month. What the heck?
As long as you're here.
Yeah, as
Stop
long
on
as
by
you're
here. Have some grilled cheese.
Yeah, you got a little breather. Yeah, and the weather's been really nice, and it should be, barrel tasting weekend. Historically, 1 or 2 days of rain, but normally more sun than not.
Right.
We will be happy if it rains the whole time. I'd be very thrilled. It's awful dry here, and we're gonna get rain though on this Friday. Are we having rain this Friday?
It's only not supposed to. It's supposed to kind of blow off. It's supposed to be here, but it's not supposed to be here. It's like 30%
Wait.
chance.
He said that the rain is supposed to be here, but not supposed to be
Because
here.
it's only 30%. He
Is
figures.
it-
On my phone, it says not in Santa Rosa, but yes in Calistoga.
Is it schizophrenia? What is that?
Well, the mountain's saying yes, something's saying no.
Interesting.
Wow. Okay, so you might see some rain, but we need it, man. I'll take every drop we can get because. But I need to get out and go play some golf because I haven't golfed in this beautiful weather.
And it's your
all the
list.
people that are watching here are going, you are just ridiculous. You don't go. Yeah, it's pretty damn nice. So this Amorosa Bella, $30 retail, $25.50 if you're a Cellar Club member. Nothing is better than that. That's a good deal.
Looking good.
Yeah, that's looking good. So the Hawaiian. Yeah,
Isn't
come
that
on.
nice?
Right?
That's your favorite, right?
Right? Well,
favorite.
it's got a lot going on, man. Yeah, it's got a ton going
all
on.
the stuff you
I'm
want.
way over that.
Yeah. Right.
That's 100 times more healthy too. Because pizza's full of dough and ick. That's nice sourdough. That's
I like
really, it's good for you. Right? The question is, can you use olive oil instead of butter? I don't know, because there's a flavor you're getting from the butter. So the only way to figure it out though is experiment. And Lord knows I've been experimenting for the last 3 days, and but I'm really digging the way this is coming across because it's cool. And
I think it's an innovative
we're the only
idea,
tasting
yeah.
room in the entire world that has.
What's the average price of your wine club shipments?
Oh, the question in the audience is what is the average shipment price, which is coming up next week, by the way, for the wine club. The average price is $125 to $180, depending upon the wines in the shipment. So that will vary from but we keep it right in that range,
Of course, with that comes a
And
discount.
then anytime you come into the tasting room, you're going to pay the club price. You get wine by the glass. You're going to get a discount. Look, you can't walk in a bar and go, "Can I have 15% off today on my glass of wine?" They're like, "Huh?" And it's not like you have to sell your soul to get that. It's only 16 bottles a year. If you're not drinking 16 bottles, then don't worry about it. You probably shouldn't be a member. But most people, most people go through 16. Hell, I go through that many in a week. So
Yeah.
there's 52 weeks in a year. So I could join 52 wine clubs.
Hey, cool idea. Cool idea.
So
But
yeah,
with it comes a discount, which means then you can put some more bottles away. So that's all good. It's all good.
that
Very
Pinot
nice.
is showing really, really well.
Good job, Rosa.
I can take that over here if you want me to take those away. Or
No, I'm just bringing this one out.
I see.
I see
All right.
we're moving on.
Well, we are. Hey, Kevin, hit the center of that. Just make sure that stays live. Yeah, you're still good.
This thing was goofy, so I'll do it.
Yeah, I know the internet. That thing has a problem with its internet reading.
It goes to sleep.
So
Yeah.
we have a question.
Okay, go ahead.
How does the sweetness of the pineapple play with the Pinot, not a normal pairing?
True. Part of that is offset by the Canadian bacon, and then the cheese. That counterbalances that.
Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily say let's have a serving of pineapple now. Let's pull out a Pinot Noir. But I'll use wine terms, but the complexity of the sandwich, the taste profile of the sandwich, the texture of the sandwich, really has that muted back in with the Canadian bacon, with the toastiness, and that's where I think it plays pretty well.
Yeah. No, I totally did. It was right on. The thing about Pinot too, that's a versatile wine. You can pair it up with a lot of stuff. So don't be afraid to go outside the box a little bit. But to your point, yeah, you're not going to bite on a chunk of pineapple and then grab your Pinot and that's not going to work. You need the rest of the stuff in there to counterbalance that a little bit.
And also, if there were big chunks of pineapple in here, any one bite might not play as well as some of the others. But
Yeah.
if you have the smaller and it's kind of spread across the sandwich, I think that's important.
Well, and the spice that I
reason
put
why.
on here, the oregano and the parsley, that adds a little bit of flavor in your mouth to
Right.
balance things out. But I like the pineapple taste.
Yeah.
And we used a different. I had that. That's not chunky. What do they call it? It has a name.
Chopped or something.
Chopped or something anyway.
Yeah.
It's yeah. It's not the rounds. Don't use the rounds.
We know it's
Use
not juice. We know it's not the whole thing.
Yeah,
Somewhere in between those.
Yeah, so, all right, 2 thumbs up. All right, okay. All right, here we go. All right, so this is scaring me now.
This is scaring you now?
Not the wine,
I know where you're leading.
the blue cheese.
Oh, you're going to do the blue cheese.
Well, it's part of the deal. I mean, you guys kept saying, what other cheese? And I kept hearing blue cheese, and I said, well, hell,
Let's go with that.
I got to go with the normal people. I'm not normal, so.
So this time, Scott, what I would like you to do on this,
Okay.
because you like the wine, right?
Oh, totally, yes, Cab
you
Franc.
have to start with a sip of the wine, and then go to your food,
Thank you,
and
Kevin.
then come back to the wine.
So start with the wine.
Just start with wine, a little bit of the wine, just to
Well,
just
that'll
cut them out.
kind of mask.
Well, one thing it does is it already starts the pairing. By the time you have that, you're already pairing. Rather than tasting the sandwich for it by itself,
Yeah.
you're starting with the wine that you like. Go ahead and have a bite of the sandwich, and then when you're wrapping that up, go back to the wine that you like. I think you're going to find that's where you're going to really understand the pairing. And that's where you start.
Okay, here I go.
All right.
Okay, I'm
And
doing
then
blue.
And then at the end of that, I want you to finish with it.
Oh. You would love this. Russell would love this. He loves this. And when I go to his house, he tries to trick me and throws it in the salad, thinking I'm not going to catch it.
Oh, well, if you don't like it, you'll obviously catch it. So you can see what qualities of the blue cheese are working compatibly with this wine.
Yeah. You know, as much as I really have an issue with blue cheese, it's really hard for me to even get to the game. Pairing it with the wine, and to your point,
Yeah.
starting with the wine.
Start with what you like.
Yeah. As soon as that hit the palate, it all kind of smoothed out.
Yeah.
And then in my mind, it was only for like a second, because I haven't crossed over yet, but for a second, in my mind, I was thinking, wow, maybe I can enjoy this cheese. Crushed pineapple, thank you very
Thank
much.
you. Thank you for the
Thank
Googling
you.
over there. Crushed pineapple. So what you're doing, think about this, Scott, is you've got tannins in your Cabernet Franc. It's a big structured wine.
Yeah.
When cheese hits that, that's when it begins to smooth out the wine. So you're using some of what that flavor is in the cheese is going back toward the wine. So it's actually how you enjoy your wine even better whenever you have it with cheese, because it takes and cuts down some of those tannins. So what's happening here is a classic cheese and wine pairing, except we chose a cheese that is huge and very. This is an opinionated cheese. It has its own statement to give you, and so you want to start with the wine first and go.
Well,
with that.
and when if you're going to make this at home, one of the things that I'm learning here, this is a brittle cheese, but I bought there's some other. I bought another version of this that's more on the creamy side, and that might be more exciting and kind of fun because it's going to be super creamy.
I think you're right. I think you're right.
Yeah, it'll be super creamy and that I think that this is very hard to melt the cheese. It takes a lot to melt. Are you doing the blue cheese? And you hate blue cheese, right? Did it work? You know, it's the combination, and we've talked about this before. A lot of times people have wine that they walk past and don't drink.
Right.
But when you pair it up with the right food, now you can really appreciate it. And I'm the perfect guy for that because you laid some blue cheese down, I'm running down out the door.
Right,
I mean,
right.
it's over. I'm just like, there's no, you know, and it goes back to my childhood when my brother and I were growing up. He loved Limburger cheese, which is like the stinkiest thing on the planet. And so, now this was like you gotta understand, let me put it in perspective. This was 1965, okay? He somehow had a $5 bill. In those days, that was a lot of money. He had a $5 bill. He made a Limburger cheese sandwich this thick. It was this thick with Limburger cheese. And he said,
I know where this is going.
he said, I'll give you
The
$5.
big question is, do you still have those $5, or did you lose that bet?
Oh, I lost so damn hard. It was unbelievable. And I looked at it, and it was a big old sandwich. And I looked at it and I said, I can do this. I'm gonna 3-bite this, and it's gonna be gone. And I'm getting the $5 and buy a new bike or something. I could buy like a lot of stuff for $5. So I grabbed that sucker. I took that big old bite, and it got out of my mouth, and I'm trying to chew it, and it's going, and it's getting stuck, and it's going, and it's starting, and it won't go down. I'm like, come on, you gotta go down. Oh no! And he's freaking out. He's crawling on the floor, laughing so damn hard. He's like freaking out, and he's waving the $5, going, "You're not getting it. You're not getting it." I couldn't swallow that sucker.
That's right.
It tasted as bad as it smelled. Limburger's like the worst. So maybe that scarred me.
It could be.
I don't have bad dreams about it anymore, but it's like, wow. So let me see if I can. Maybe this is the night that I cross over into the blue cheese world.
I'm not betting you $5 because I have a feeling you are crossing over.
Okay.
Well, good. I don't know if you're talking music yet.
Oh, it's what the wine did was kind of calmed the cheese down a little bit.
Exactly.
And
it makes it smoother.
Yeah,
Cab Franc is a big grape. I mean,
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and that calmed it way down. I really like how that interacted. I'm real happy with that. You might have gotten me. Now I won't grab a chunk of that and eat that. That's not going down.
All right. Well, we got step one here. This
Yeah.
is good. Begin to buy into that.
Well, and that's what we talk about all the time because you have wines that you just don't.
Right.
You walk right past.
Yeah.
Go. Oh no, I don't drink Zinfandel. I don't drink Syrah. Whatever.
Because
Come on.
because most of the time we have wine, we're going to have something else with it.
Yeah.
So it is going to change the nature of that anyway. So
Exactly.
I think it's great. So now, having gone through all four of these, I'd love to hear again from folks in the room to see what was their favorite pairing.
Yeah. So, ladies, how was that pairing? What was a standout?
Very hearty. I like it. It's very bold.
Okay.
Are you talking about the blue cheese?
The blue cheese is good with it because of the strong.
Yeah.
Yeah, the strong.
What was your favorite? What was your favorite pairing among these?
Well, the one that was most unique was the Hawaiian one.
Isn't that great?
It
Yeah.
was really unique.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
I liked it. It just kind of was refreshing.
Kind of fun.
It was. I like that one. I mean, I thought they all were really good. But I just think that one just really hit me.
The Hawaiian, yeah.
The one that took me by
It's it's a neat combination and it works really well. It works great on pizza, so it certainly works well.
And
here.
whoever asked that question, that's true. I mean, you wouldn't think to do that.
No,
And that's part
no.
of what this experimentation is about. Is
Yeah.
try some things.
The blue cheese is perfect for this one.
Yeah, right? Didn't it that work? Yeah. Cab Franc. So when you're pairing that stuff at home, look for those little bigger wines. This wine's pretty soft, but there's some tannin here.
Oh,
It's,
there is.
30 months in brand new French oak, so he's not screwing around. Hey, Kevin, tell them what we've got coming up. We've got on Thursday, Greg Youter in the house. Greg Youter in the house on Thursday. And then Friday, I got to tell you, gang, if you have not seen Falcon Christopher, you are missing the show. His son is 10 years old, plays bass, and he rocks the house. I'm just telling you.
I've seen him actually drop to his knee as he's doing his solo.
I'm
right?
telling you, I almost fell over one night when he did that. Went right to his knees and he laid back like this and started playing. And I'm like, wait, you're like 10. You're 10 years old. That's crazy. So that's on Friday, and then Craig Corona, man, on Saturday. Maybe you never know. Maybe Gary Violin will show up, and we never know who shows up. We have musicians that pop in from time to time,
Which is great.
which is really cool.
Yeah.
And we're going to be full on these sandwiches. These will be regular sandwiches you can have in the room for $8. Woohoo! That's 4 times the size of what we had.
Barrel tasting weekend.
Yeah, we're part of Barrel Tasting Weekend. You
Next
can.
week, right?
That's next week. We already talked about that. You were yapping, but that's good. Yapping's good. And so lots going on. Wine country is ripping. There's a whole bunch going on.
Picking up big time.
Weather's pretty
Yeah.
damn nice. Yeah, it's going to get busy now. We're going to start finally turning the clock.
Into the season.
yeah, well, get the hell out of February. January, February is like, is anybody at home? There's no people around, but it's okay. They'll be around because they want this grilled cheese, baby.
Great idea, Scott.
I didn't invent it. My wife came up with this.
Nice.
She was at the Bacara, really swanky place in Santa Barbara, and she went out by the pool, and they had the outdoor cafe and all that, and restaurant, and they had gourmet grilled cheese. And she went, wow, that's cool, like nobody's business. So hey, I can copy anybody's stuff. I'm way okay with that.
That works.
But we're the only tasting room that I know of in Northern California that actually does grilled cheese sandwiches.
I would say that's probably.
So from now on, you guys are copying me, okay? Just for the record.
So you trademark this, right?
I trademark. Yeah, I do own the 4 shades of cheese.
There you go.
So don't try to do that.
Nice.
And because it's your logo, but I'll buy it from you someday when we're mega rich.
Yeah.
And
I look forward to that.
thanks, Kevin, for throwing that up. Hey, Kevin, can you bring that Cab Franc back? Because I need to have more. Well, no, because I'm almost out, and I can't end our show without having wine in my glass. So, all right.
There you go.
So
we did Daring Wines,
Yeah.
Barnell Wines, Amorosa Bella, Super Sonoma. But T.R. Elliott and some of the others in the room certainly could be paired up as
you
well.
could- yeah, you could-
Or you can adjust your cheese choice accordingly.
yeah, I mean, there's only a few. Yeah, you can mix it up a little bit. You can do that. You just got to be careful. Like I say, the brie's a little tough to melt.
Uh-huh.
So you got to. What I did was, just as a little, in case you're going to do this at home, I took the brie comes in a round like this.
Mm-hmm.
I sliced it in half, and then I sliced the halves in thin pieces,
okay.
strips.
Right.
And then I laid the strips on there, and I did 2 layers of that.
Okay.
If you cut them too fat, they're never going to melt in the
Right,
middle,
right.
and you miss all the cool stuff.
Right.
Now you could argue, and I don't know enough about cheese to determine that, but in the brie you could argue that you want to cut the crust off. Now people eat it here and they eat it with the crust, but the crust doesn't necessarily melt.
Right.
So you could argue that you could very carefully cut the crust off, that leaving just the core of the brie,
Right.
and that might give you a little more of a gooey sandwich. So you could do that. I'm not, it's.
Experimentation.
Yeah, I'm guessing on all that stuff. The brie, I'm gonna try. I mean, not the brie. The blue cheese. I did buy a creamier version of what we have.
I think that's
here.
a good idea to explore that. Because
And I'm going to experiment with that, and I'll tell you next week, because we're ready to switch over to that newer style, and I'll let you know how that came out. It may make it a little creamier, which will be kind of fun. It may change the texture and the flavor a little bit. I mean, I really don't know, because I'm not the brie guy, but
So
will
will you be
blue guy?
when you do these pairings? Will these
Yeah.
always be the wines paired, or will you be exploring other?
No,
options?
we're gonna lay different wines in there, because you can lay in a bunch of different wines.
Right, okay.
And we have 50 wines here, or 60. So I have lots of wine that we could lay in here to easily pair with these other, and we'll keep doing that. I may not change the cheese
Right.
portion of it, but I can certainly roll in other wines. I think we can easily do that. Not a
I think it'll be
problem.
fun. So that means that if somebody comes in once, comes back, there'll be some other alternatives.
Yeah,
Change it up a little
yeah,
bit.
yeah.
Nice.
And
Very
we'll
nice.
keep experimenting, and come up with ideas on other pairings. But I like the cheese thing. I just think this is a unique, fun thing.
I think it's great.
You're here on a Saturday night, and it's 8:30. You had dinner at 5. Yeah, you're probably getting a little hungry.
Yeah, yeah.
And you order that Hawaiian, because the Hawaiian is 4 times the size of what we have. That's a big. It's this big.
Yeah.
That's almost a meal in itself. So, yeah, that would work really well.
Nice.
So
Nice.
kind of love it. So, anyway, Deering wine, the Grenache Blanc, Bonneau, the Rosé, Amaro Sabella 2010, Russian River Pinot, Super Sonoma. If you haven't had that Cab Franc, man, you're missing a Holy Toledo. That's some real juice, and yeah, and that pairs up with a lot of stuff too.
It does.
You can go big. Now we didn't really go big. You really did appetizer here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
This is it can stand up to pretty much anything.
Yeah.
Main courses and so.
So you
forth.
could be, for somebody that's a I'm a red wine only person. This is a perfect starter with your only red wine person.
Right.
And then finish with a big ribeye, and that'll crawl all over that.
Yep,
It won't have any-
absolutely,
So you
right.
could use that same wine in the meal plan.
Into the meal, right.
And start with something like this as a little appetizer.
Sure.
And again, if you're not a blue cheese fan, give that a try, because I'm not, and I feel like I could actually move through that and,
All right.
and not feel like, oh, don't look, and I go to give it to the dog. And that's I've done that a lot. but I'm learning.
I think this was great.
I think it
Innovative.
works, man. I think it works. So late night cheese sandwich right here, grilled cheese right
Come
here
on
at
by.
Cellars of Sonoma. Nothing is easier than that. So I want to thank Kevin for filling in for
Thank you, Kevin.
Karina, who's in Oregon doing something. Andrew, of course, getting the service out to all of us. I want to thank all of our people drinking wine and buying wine, because buying
you.
wine is why we're here. And thank you for your questions. And Dave, of course, thank you very much for helping us.
Sure, of course.
Dave pretty much figured out the pairing with each of these, which was really great. We did that over the last couple days. And
That was
I think,
not painful for me. That was not painful.
no, we tasted, because we
I
had
a
to
few
taste.
meals along
We
the
had to
way.
taste like a bunch of wine. It was
Bunch of
just-
wine,
yeah.
bunch of food.
Tons of food, man. I got so full I mean, really, because after you eat, I ate like 2 of those, and oh my gosh, I was done. So, and thank you guys for tuning in, and Dan and Brad and everybody else, Denzel, and everybody else on the planet that's tuning in and watching us. This is where you discover wine one sip at a time here at Cellars of Sonoma. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. We'll see
ya.
you next week. Bye for now.